The Book of Endariel, begun on December the 8th, in the sacred day of the river Tiberius and Mother Gaia, in the year 2021 of the Common Era. When you are as old as I am, names no longer have meaning, for you gather many over the eons, the way a mortal man gets and leaves behind clothing. But as names go, I was born, and always am Elical for my family and my beloved. And the second name, which I always have, is the name the Lord of Light called me, when I gave myself to him. Endariel, the watching star. The circle is soon complete. I write this diary to make amends before myself for the 5 sins which I have committed, and though no one ever blamed me for them, it was a shame so great I could not forgive myself. So to finally make it right, I shall speak. About the life when I was Elical, you need to know little, for it is for me and my kin to know. Know that we neither knew the passing of time, nor hate, nor greed, nor compassion, or regret, and we lived beyond all things connected to the passing of time. But a cry came to my ears, and some of us, and this was the first sin, for I listened to it, and hence fell out of the eternal now of my brethren. I sought out the Lord of Light, the Son of the great Creator, and with 1/3 of my brethren we left our home and went to war. We felt righteous anger and sad compassion for those besieged. And the Lord of Light said unto us, I shall let you do as you desire, and not blame you, but you will see that violence is no way to end violence. I found these words hollow in my hubris back then. And so I and my compatriots were in a war that lasted 10,000 years in the counting of my world. And that is many, many more in the years of man than you can imagine. Until I finally only knew war and struggle, and I learned to revel in it, and I found lust in war. And finally, my desire for justice and mercy had just become a hollow mask. Then I dropped my sword and I wept. And though none of my kin, and not the Lord of Light himself, blamed me, I could not bear to feel worthy in their presence, and I cast myself down into the world of man. And this was my second sin, for I had to learn the vanity of war, but I failed to understand that I had to go through this circle and left my beloved, my children, my family, and my Lord of Light behind, in shame and in folly. On your world I lived mundane and feeble lives, for I did not dare to confront anyone or anything, for I feared I would fall back to the lust of war, as once I did, and so I committed my 3rd sin, not trusting the light within all of us. and out of cowardice I hid myself in lives of weakness, and choose rather to suffer, being the victim out of fear and folly. Then in this life, when the Lord of Light, to whom I as his lowest of servants was pledged, and who was named by him Endariel, he spoke to me and revealed to me things, and said, "Go there among men and tell them." And I knew it was true, and I knew, even though my words would not change a thing, even it would just be one of many that I were, and the least of them, if only 10 would hear it and return to the light, it would be enough. But I fear the scorn and the laughter, and the anger and the loneliness, if I would speak, and so I committed the false sin, keeping silent. And this was 26 years ago. And when I cried in the night for an omen, and immediately a great comet flew through that part of the sign of Aquarius where I was born, and yet I rejected it, rejected the call out of fear and cowardice, not trusting the light still. And then all the darkness and chaos predicted now unfolds upon men for their sins and their foolish choices, and though I know nothing could have changed that, for man must choose their path alone and then face the consequences. I know if we who were sent to speak had made a better work, maybe some more would now not be lost in the dark. And even if one soul would not have fallen through one of our words, it would not have been in vain. But I kept silent. And then when the darkness revealed itself, and began to grow in every corner of the world, like the roots of rotting evil mushrooms. And even then, when I began to have a voice people heard, even then did I not dare to speak out of fear to lose all I had found, fear to be alone again, fear to be locked away, and feared the suffering of the mind, of the flesh, or the darkness is powerful indeed. I trusted not enough the light. I trusted not enough what I knew. I wished this cup would pass me, that I might avoid suffering, and I believed I was beyond redemption and unworthy to be even the smallest messenger of the one light, or to be worthy of the company of my kin again. And this folly was my 5th sin. Now I will take the burden upon me. I will make myself worthy in my own eyes to be Endariel again, though none of my kin ever rejected me, and neither the Lord of Light, my God, to whom I pledged myself. But I felt I should make amends, and wished not to accept mercy without merit. Now then, this first. The light is one center, and the darkness is what is hollow. The light, though, is all in one, but the darkness is legion. And this is the strength and the weakness of light, and that is the strength and the weakness of the dark. The men of the world shall hear this and laugh, for only the fool and the wise shall understand it. for the word is for few. And not being able to accept this for countless eons was also part of my sins. For the children of light must bear the mockery and the hate of the many. For ye would not be a child of the light on this earth if your words were not mocked and feared and hated. This is the first writing of Endariel and the beginning of his atonement before myself, my Lord, and my kin.